Good morning and welcome to a brand new podcast episode. Today I'm going to be giving you something that I heard from my good friend / we don't actually know each other, Obama. Yeah, that's right, I'm throwing it out there for 2021. Me and the former president, Barack Obama. Okay, so I heard him, well, it's a quote of a quote of a quote. So I heard it, I think, on the Stephen Bartlett podcast. And he was talking about something he learned from Barack Obama, but I feel like maybe he was in the room with him. Anyway, he had an interaction with him, and one of the things that he said was he makes a decision when he's 51% sure. And he was saying that is a minimum. Like, if you're 51% sure, if you've tipped the balance and you're like, yeah, I think this is the thing I need to do, this is the thing that I need to move forward on, then that's enough. And at first, that shocked me. Like, the fact that, I mean, you know, I'm not going to go completely political here, but the fact that somebody who had so much power was like, yeah, sure, I just need to be 51% sure and I'll be absolutely fine. That feels quite scary. And there's something about it that feels a bit flippant. But when I sat with it, / paced around the park with it and thought it over, I was thinking, how many decisions do we have in life that we don't make a decision on, or we don't move forward because perhaps we're waiting for the 80% sure, the 90% sure, 100% sure, like this is absolutely going to be the thing. And it really struck me that last year, my year was quite different for me, despite what everything else was going on. But the shifts that I made in my life and the way that I operate in a different way now, I basically did a lot of healing, friends. I feel like I can share that with you. And I'm not going to go into all of the details, but I felt like I closed a lot of doors. I felt like probably from 2014 onwards, I did a lot of shoveling around, a lot of unpicking. It felt backbreaking work at times, trying to process stuff and pull things together and find what I really think about things. And last year seemed to be the moment where things started to click into place. And one of the things that I kind of realized that I had been doing, like my friend Obama, was that I had upped my pace. I'd upped my pace of what I needed to do. And that isn't necessarily meaning up my pace, off I go, I've got to get up at 4, I'm doing this, I'm going to shout this on the internet, I've got to lose, the Peter Kay thing, I've got to lose 14 pounds in a day. No, what that pace is for me has been about making decisions and taking action. And if you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling like you're not sure what to do, the best thing that you can do in this scenario is to make a decision, to take action. I don't know if you can hear as I'm doing this. I've got my pajamas on and my dressing gown, and suddenly, as soon as I said take action, I took my dressing gown off. Yes, that's where we are. Well, I'll spare you. No more clothes are coming off. I promise. No more. But yeah, what I was thinking about was that pace. Because what would happen sometimes is I would sit in this sort of relaxing area. This moment of, and it wasn't always relaxing. Actually, sometimes it felt really rubbish. So I would sit in and wallow in the sense of, I don't know what to do. I'm just looking for the right decision. Or I'd go, well, it's probably not going to work anyway, so let me just try and fight it. And I used to do this with money as well, like much kind of more years ago. Like I would spend all day trying to get the best deal or a coupon, or I would travel really far to go and get the cheapest option. Whereas actually what I needed to do was to make more money. That was the game changer. Like, instead of focusing on how I can like clip all these coupons or add a promo code or something like that, why are you not focusing on making money? That was a big lesson for me. But that's a podcast episode all in its own right. But one thing that I can find is that if I don't check myself, stay in moments of being really cross about something or being frustrated that this thing is not happening. And instead, what I need to do is go, well, I've got this, and I've got this thing, and I've got that, and I just need to make moves. I just need to take action on it imperfectly. And that's what I did last year. Every time I got stuck, every time I let things pile on top of me, which of course they did, the world, I mean, it goes without saying, if you listen to me all the time, like, you will know I'm very aware of what's going on. Lots of members of my family have had COVID, and it feels very close at the moment. But what I'm trying to do is hold this positive space. So when I'm talking, I feel like I really have to hammer this home, but when I'm talking, of course I know what's going on in the world, but equally I have these tools, and if I can give them to you, then hopefully it will brighten your day and it will help you in some way. But what I did last year really helped me to make moves regardless. And sometimes that was, I've woken up, I feel rubbish, but I know that I need to do X, Y, and Z today. And having this focus of being able to switch into action mode. So when I actually sat down at my computer, and sometimes it was like, I have got 22 minutes before my baby might wake up. 22 minutes, right, what can I do with that time? Or if I had an hour in the morning, how can I make a really simple plan that I can follow? Rather than going, oh my goodness, I've got to listen to all these audios, I've got to have a 7-minute manifestation process, I've then got to do my stretches, and then I've got to fit in a 2-hour gym. Like, no. In this time, I can actually hear my kids in the background. Brilliant. I hope that's okay with you. But I was thinking about how could I move and pivot and up my pace in that way. So another analogy I can give you, because somebody actually said to me the other day, and it's not for the first time that I'm the queen of analogies. You know that moment when it's an important football match and they go off, and it goes to extra time, and then it goes to penalties. And what you immediately notice from the players when they come back on is suddenly, I'm doing it, but you can't see me because it's a podcast. Suddenly they're sort of hopping from side to side. They've got some nimble joints going on. Suddenly it's like they've had a kick of something, and it's that, like a boxer, like, okay, right, I'm sharp, let's go. And sometimes even just changing that in your body, even just moving from side to side, even though just stretching your arms above your head and breathing and taking some big long breaths are really going to help you to change up that pace, because it's the equivalent of just lying down. And this has been another thing that has really worked with my acting career as well, that when you first start a play or a TV script or things like that, you have what's called a read through. So everybody, cast, crew, they all sit round, it's a table read, and you read it aloud. And sometimes that's the first time that everybody comes together, and it's really lovely because you've just been doing your prep work at home, and then suddenly you're like, oh, that's the person that's playing that, oh, they're doing this, oh, brilliant, and it starts to come to life. And there is probably only one of those, because this is the point where it has to slip into action. And the quicker that you can get something up on its feet, the easier it's going to be for yourself. So there are some actors who'll go, you know, if you're doing Shakespeare, they'll want to talk about the research and what's happening and get really heavy in all of those historical situations. And of course, having that layering to your character and understanding, you know, the position of women and jobs that were happening and how the land was, that's all very important. But I always have that impetus to move from my chair and get it on its feet immediately. Because as soon as I move with a script, as soon as I say it out loud, as soon as I start to have a conversation and I start to interact with that actor and they're moving and I'm using their energy as well, that's when it suddenly comes to life. That's when I suddenly start to get answers. And this is what I can urge you, I guess, to do practically today. So I'm going to stand up with you. I'm standing up out of my chair. Sorry if the sound is a bit wonky, it will be. I want you to take a deep breath and breathe in and breathe out. And really notice how big your capacity for breath is. Put your hands on your belly and really pay attention and notice and bring your awareness to the fact that you have so much capability. And your spine, you know, go back to these basics, go back to your spine, look at your feet, look at how they've carried you around, your legs, where have they taken you? What adventures have they had? I'm 40 in November, and as I'm looking at my feet, I think, wow, where have they been? What have they been doing? And they've been places and they've seen things and they've taken me on adventures. So take another deep breath in and take a deep breath out and think about how can you move into action today? How can you lighten things? How can you move things? How can you take that first little nudge of the dominoes and let it flow and get things moving? Because talking about things, writing stuff down, it will only get you so far. Today is the day where you go for that 51%, where you send the email, you go live on Instagram Live, you ask for that collaboration, you actually pay the thing that you've been meaning to do. You sign up for the course that you know will help you, but for some reason you were like, oh, well, I'll look for a cheaper version, or I'll buy something that isn't quite the thing. One of my goals for 2021 is to buy the thing I actually want. Yeah. Buy the thing I actually want. Because how many of us have gone, well, I won't buy that because it's a cheaper version, or I'll wait until it's in the sale, or who am I to want this? Again, that's another podcast for another day. But I want to invite you today to do that 51%. Channel Obama, see what you can do, and just see what's possible. Play in that place. I urge you also just to turn off the news for today. And protect your space, protect your boundaries, because do you know what? Sometimes you're going to need this thinking time. There is something, of course, very powerful, and it's important to be in the know with what's going on. But there are also so many other parts of our world right now that are very important. Your mental health, your ability to educate children, to hold relationships, to be financially abundant, to be able to support other people, to be able to do all of the things that you need to do. So I hope that was really useful. I would love to know what you think. And I would also love to know what you're going to do with this. What is your 51% action? The thing that maybe you'd been waiting for, the sign, the moment where you're like, okay, it's 90% now. Now it feels secure. Now it feels safe. And now it's time to actually move forward on that. I would love to hear. Thank you so much for being with me today. Please subscribe and rate and review and all that good stuff. I would love it. And also tag me on Instagram. Let me know where you're listening and what you're doing. And also check out the details down below for Jam and Plan Live and your personal brand plan. And also, finally, if you've been thinking about booking a free 15-minute session with me, if you're like, yeah, I should do that, but I'm not quite ready, I firstly want to say, book it, let's have a conversation. And secondly, if you're giving so much energy to I'm not ready, what are you not giving your energy to? And imagine if you could move that energy, move that focus from I can't, I won't, I don't know how to, into I do, I'm doing it, off we go. Have a lovely day wherever you're listening. Lots and lots of love. And I'll see you on Friday, because now, look, we're a 3 podcast episode. We're going for this rhythm. So thank you so much for being here. Lots of love. Bye.